You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Married to Jonas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Married to Jonas After Show.
Hello, hello, everyone. Bing is for doing, and tonight we are doing another episode for AFTERBUZZ TV's Married to Jonas podcast. I'm Cathy Kelley, and joining me is the lovely
Michelle Gracie.
Michelle, thank you so much for being here tonight. So let's delve in right into this episode. It was season 1, episode 7, In-Laws and Outdoors, because they go camping, of course. So what did you think? Overall thoughts?
I thought it was a really fun episode to watch. It's very interesting to see the different dynamics in the family with the going outdoors and, you know, being in nature. I thought it was really interesting with, you know, the way the mom reacted to the whole situation. What do you think?
They're definitely very Jersey. Like, I feel like they...
What is very Jersey, though?
No, I feel like they don't like camping. They're very girly girls, and I don't know. They just...
I think you said something earlier that was probably very true. Like, if you have all that money, then why would you go camping?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I mean, it is fun, but it was one of the things that was for Kevin, and he wanted to do it. And we got, he brought up babies again, and he wanted to do this list of things before they have a kid.
Right.
Which he thinks is going to be tomorrow. So he wanted to get this list done. And on top of the list was going camping. So,
I mean, they just barely scratched the surface in camping. And if you're asking my true opinion, it didn't seem like they were really hardcore camping. I mean, they bought everything they needed. Most people just go in the woods. They don't have like a little porta potty to go in. I mean, so it seemed like kind of glamping almost,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, they did have some pretty high-tech tents and
air mattresses.
Yeah, and a grill and things like that.
Right.
But I mean, camping is camping, so
I think it's fun.
At the end of the day, you still need your bug spray and, you know, some fishing poles and stuff. But
that was funny when they were trying to get the girls to when he was trying to get the girls to put the worm on the hook. That was, I mean, that's probably one thing that I could not do. I could do everything else, but not that.
I was gonna say, we were talking about it during the episode, and I love me some camping. I love going on float trips. I love rafting. Yeah, thanks for that. I love
hiking.
All of it. I mean, it's so much fun. But if you asked me to put a worm on a fishing pole, I would not do it. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. But so they bought all this equipment. I mean, the boys all went to like an REI or some sporting goods store to buy tents. They bought, what else did they buy?
Everything you needed. I mean, they had the whole backyard set up and you could see all their stuff.
Yeah.
But they only went for one day.
I know.
Kind of seemed like a waste.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to go camping and buy all that stuff, you want to go for at least a couple nights.
At least a week.
Dina packed enough for like a month, so.
Come on, Delisas, go camping for real.
Yeah. But they did get to go, which was cool.
Yeah, that
and
was nice.
Again, as we said, it's something that Kevin's always wanted to do. And I'm not really sure, you're more familiar with Jersey, but where do you think that they actually went? Like, what part of Jersey is that in?
I think we saw a sign for a suffix.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's just like, you know, a lot of people have this idea that Jersey is not green. It actually is very green. So probably northern Jersey, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely picturesque. Like when they were showing the, you know, driving up there, there's all these mountains and it's gorgeous. And
yeah, New Jersey is a lovely state. And I feel like the media hasn't depicted it that way. So I'm really excited
Why do you think, Michelle?
I mean, other shows, clearly, you know, but this
Jersey Shore.
Right. And, you know, just when you see it in the movies like Sopranos, they just show like the turnpike. They don't show how beautiful and picturesque New Jersey really is. Like right now, it's fall foliage. It's probably gorgeous right now.
I have a really mean joke, but should I tell it?
Yeah, tell
Okay,
it.
it's about Jersey. Okay. Why are New Yorkers always so upset?
Why?
Because the light at the end of the tunnel is New Jersey. I don't actually believe that. I actually do like Jersey, but
That's okay, Cathy Kelley.
I do like Jersey. No, it's cute. It's quaint in some locations. Maybe not the shore, but
Well, actually, the shore is a beautiful place.
Really?
That's just Seaside Heights. Okay, that's one little part. There's Lavallette and all these other places that are very family-ish, you know, shores, where the sand is almost white, and you know, it's really nice there.
Yeah, I mean, anything on the coast is going to be gorgeous.
I wish people knew.
Well, maybe after this episode, people will want to go camping in Jersey.
They should. You should go on a vacation in New Jersey.
Yeah, for sure. So they all get together, take this trek up to northern Jersey, and they get there, and within nanoseconds, it seems like every DeLisa girl is complaining.
Right.
They're like, we're going to get murdered up here. No one will be able to hear our screams. Where are we supposed to go to the bathroom?
It sounds like a bunch of girls.
It's intense. Intense.
I was hoping to see them like singing on the car ride up, you know, making, you know, some fun memories.
Kumbaya. No.
Or Love Bug, whatever.
That would probably be better. But yeah, so they went to the camping location, and I mean, we were kind of expecting like glammed out RVs and whatnot just because it is the Jonases. I'm sure Dina, Danielle, and Angela would have preferred some sort of
Definitely. Hotel nearby.
Yeah. We were thinking, what was that show? I was thinking this the entire time. What's that show with Bear Grylls where he pretended to survive, but he actually at the end of the day just can't, you know, stayed in a hotel overnight?
I have no idea. What's that show?
It was,
Is it Into the Wild?
Yeah.
Thank
It Into
you.
the Wild? I don't think it's Into the Wild.
Oh, I'll Google it.
It's, that's our engineer, John, by the way, not the voice of God. But yeah, there's this show where Bear Grylls, he would go, like, it was supposed to be like an escape show where he would, you know, pretend to be camping and, you know, doing all this intense stuff. And then he would actually, it was found out later that he was just staying in a hotel the entire time. But reality, in quotations, reality TV.
Man versus Wild.
Man versus Wild, that's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, Man versus Wild. I feel like this should have been an episode of Man versus Wild, and maybe it was because the girls, after they did go camping, their hair was perfect. Like, it didn't look like they slept in a tent all night.
I was thinking the same thing. I was
You think
like,
so?
really? Come on, guys. Like, your hair is perfect. You guys look too good for camping.
It's reality television. But they did complain a lot, so they probably did end up staying in the tents overnight. I wonder what all the cameramen did. Like, did they get to go to a hotel, or did they have to stay in
Camp out.
a tent as well?
I bet that they didn't stay in tents all night.
Yeah.
I bet that they went to a hotel.
There was a camping trip that I went on in college where we had to stay in cars, not because we wanted to stay in cars. We actually did want to stay in a tent, but my friend forgot the poles to the tent. So
That
didn't
is
really
not
work
cool.
out. Yeah. But yeah, so we think that the DeLisas did. What do you think? You think that they stayed in a hotel?
I think they stayed in a hotel.
I
think Kevin stayed out there by himself, maybe Bucky. I mean,
Mikey did too.
right. And then I think the girls went to a hotel and they showed up in the morning with their hair pretty and started taping.
Yeah. Well, the DeLisa's mother, Angela, she had this master plan to fake sick, and she was just kind of like recruiting her daughters to fake sick along with her so that they didn't have to stay there overnight, which I think was pretty smart, but the implementation just didn't work out.
No, I think if she would have really pushed, you know, I think one of the girls would have followed, but they knew she was going to be fine.
I think she did push, and the girls, her one problem was trying to recruit Dani, and Dani was there for Kevin, so she wasn't going to budge.
Wife.
But if she had just picked out, you know, Dina and maybe Katie, then
I think Katie was in from the get-go. She was like, yeah, I'm in. She went right over to the camping equipment.
yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't seem as freaked out about staying in a tent overnight. But, yeah, so that plan didn't work out. Maybe if Dina had just, or if Angela had done it by herself.
Right.
And just really, really faked sick. Like, done like the
That would've
whole,
been funny.
She needed to do like a Meryl Streep, like, Emmy, Oscar-winning performance for a sickness, and then you only need one person. Who cares about the rest of your daughters? So it seems like they did end up having some fun. I mean, after the whole fishing incident.
Yeah, I thought they looked like they had a lovely time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did get to go floating with the rafts.
That looked great.
I know, that looked so much
The
fun.
sky looked beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. And then what else did they do?
They were roasting marshmallows. That's like my favorite.
They were roasting marshmallows, and then the entire episode, they were kind of alluding to this big announcement that was going to go on.
Right.
And I want to talk about that in a second, but first, before we do that, I want to mention to all our fans who are listening to subscribe to us on iTunes, because if you're not watching us online on AfterBuzz TV, if you're not watching us on YouTube, then you need to subscribe to us on iTunes. We bring you all this free content. Actually, this coming week, we're going to have over 50 free after shows for you guys. So if you could just go to iTunes, rate and comment. All you have to do is type in AfterBuzz TV, and then you'll see the whole Married to Jonas section. You can subscribe to that, rate and comment, let us know how we're doing, tell us, you know, any feedback, and then tell a friend, because that's really how, you know, we get to bring you all of this free content, is having people like you subscribe. So it only takes a minute. It's really easy, and it helps us out. So,
you know, I was thinking they actually could have been camping in New York as well. It's actually very close, and I don't want to get in trouble when people are writing comments like I should know my stuff. I mean, that's a possibility as well.
subject change of the night. iTunes to New York. Yes.
Sorry.
I mean, they could have been anywhere. They could have been in
Right.
Philly or Pennsylvania,
Right.
which is also close.
I think it's probably New Jersey up
York.
into upstate New York, possibly. Don't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah. So back to the announcement that was gonna, you know.
I mean, of course, when they're talking like that, the whole entire episode, you're thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to say, we're pregnant.
We said from last week when they teased this that it was going to be, you know, Dani talking about being pregnant. But Michelle and I had some insider information last week, since we both got to meet them, and we did not see a baby bump on that girl.
And you would see it, because that girl is skinny as... Like, she's so skinny and so fit, you would definitely see a baby bump by now, you know,
Yeah.
if they were taping weeks ago or months ago.
Yeah. But alas, she is not pregnant, which
No.
she's probably happy about. She wants to wait, but Kevin and the rest of the family would be absolutely overjoyed.
Right. They would be overjoyed. And having a baby at any time is a blessing. But I say, girl, wait as long as you can, because once you have babies, it's forever. It's not even 18 years. It's forever. You will always be a mother. So take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Get situated in your marriage. Enjoy life a little more. And then have babies in a couple of years.
Yeah. And Kevin still has 3 more things on his baby bucket list, so.
That's it? Only 3? What are they? Do you know?
I remember one of them was going on tour, which he is doing, so he can half cross that off. Another one was... I don't know. Why isn't my photographic memory kicking in right now?
We'll have to Google it and find out.
Yeah, watch the episode again. But I mean, there were a couple of things, and they're all, you know, something he can easily do in case she gets pregnant in the next couple weeks. But so the big announcement, first, they were actually talking about how he was going on tour, and that created a little bit of tension.
Right.
So, you know.
It's always interesting to see that tension play out because it's like, I love Dani. I think she's amazing, but it's like you always knew that this was part of the package. You know, you always knew that he was going to be doing this. You always knew he was going to be a musician and tour or whatever. That's how you married him. So there's a sense of acceptance there. It's like, of course you should go on some, or if not all.
I think I understand where she's coming from, though, because she does understand that he, you know, is a musician and that he's going on tour. And she has been on tour with him before, but I think that she's worried that she's not contributing. Like, she wants to not overshadowed, but she kind of feels like, you know, he's the breadwinner. He's the one that's always doing something with his life. And what am I doing? Like,
sure.
I mean,
I completely understand that. And I agree with her. Like, you know, what about my life? Like, I need to do stuff for me. So I'm not just like running around and following you around like a sick puppy dog. But I think what happens is, and maybe it's just for TV, it comes off a little abrupt the way she tells him. But that could just be for the reality show.
I mean, there was definitely a lot of tension, and I think that the way that it was phrased tonight might have come off as even more abrasive, just because, you know, he was like, Mom, like to Angela, he's like, what do you think about like going on tour? And Dani was like, you're not going to ask me? Like, why are you asking me? I'm the one that's, you know, going on tour with you. And I'm sure that they've discussed this before this camping trip, but it was still, they're not on the same page. It doesn't seem like they're on the same page.
I think it's just for TV.
Yeah, I think she'll end up going on tour with him. And maybe not be there the entire time, but for a majority of the time.
Right.
Because they're going a lot of places. They're going to Australia, Malaysia, all over the world.
Right. You know, a relationship like that, the only way that it can work, and I was in one at one point, but the only way that it can work is if one person kind of sacrifices, you know, and that otherwise you'll always be like two passing ships.
Well, that's why so many celebrity marriages, I feel like, fail, because there are two people who are so successful and they're so in demand. And, you know, when you have someone who's on tour and then someone else who's filming a movie in like Toronto or LA, it's hard to, you know, one, not just to see each other, but to also find time in your busy schedule to talk.
Right.
It just gets...
have quality time together.
Yeah.
Right.
It's taxing on a relationship. But that's, I mean, that is what's so great about them is, I mean, not to say that she doesn't have anything going on, but she's able to, you know, pick up and tour with them.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure had she not met Kevin, you know, she'd be doing other things in her life right now. So she'd have other things going on. But, you know, she met him when she was young. She's still building her life. So now part of building her life is kind of building a life around him and his crazy world.
You know, something that I think would be great for Dani, like, she seems like she's motivated, and when she puts her mind to something, she could really accomplish a lot. I feel like if she, you know, while she's on tour and she has all this downtime, if she channeled that into a business or a charity or something like that and just, you know, did all the planning work, all the legwork now, you know, or while they're on tour, and then once she got back to the States, actually implemented it, that could be huge. Right. And that would be something that was all hers, and it would give her something to do as well.
Right. Yeah, no, she has to do obviously her own business because she would have to do it on her time, not on anybody else's. And then she would probably have to, you know, run it from her phone and her iPad or her computer on the road, you know?
But I mean, even a charity, like, you know, raising awareness, even if it's not starting your own thing, but helping with someone else's, that would be huge.
Yeah. And she's in the position to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So many celebrities I mean, they're doing that nowadays. Like, take Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Like, you know, there are just a lot of people who are using their celebrity for good.
That's a great thing.
I know. And we saw it in the last episode, actually, where they were at the American Diabetes Association.
Yeah, that was nice.
Something that they could do. Throwing it out there. So finally,
Because she's definitely listening.
yeah, maybe. But finally, so the big part of tonight's episode was the announcement, which we said, was teased last week, was teased throughout this entire episode. We wanted it to be that Dani's pregnant. Did we want it to be that Dani's pregnant?
No, I thought
Not per se.
I thought what they were going to say was that they were going to start trying.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought as well. Because if this tours, however many months long, then...
But like Dina said, she was like, this is so much better than you being pregnant.
Yeah. So the announcement was that the entire family is going on a trip to Florence, Italy, which is amazing. It's so cool.
So amazing.
Apparently better than a baby.
Well, think about that. They get to go to Florence, Italy. They're all Italian, and now they not only get to go, but they get to go together as a family. I mean, that is an amazing experience.
Yeah. I feel like traveling is a lot of fun, and camping is a lot of fun. These are all fun things, but when you do them with family, they just become so stressful. I mean, have you ever traveled with like your parents or something? I just feel like
I have. And I've traveled with my boyfriend's parents.
Exactly. You're with each other for 24 hours a day, and as much as you love these people, there's just the fine line between hanging out too much and...
I don't know. I think it's awesome. I think they're going to have a great time. And look, you all have different hotel rooms. If you don't want to see each other, then for one night you go to dinner alone, and then you're refreshed, and then the next day you get to have this amazing experience together. There's nobody in this world that I'd rather go to Italy with than my family.
Yeah, true. You're making me feel bad, Michelle.
No. Look, we're all different,
No,
and
I know.
Maybe your parents or brothers or sisters are, a little more needy. I don't know.
I've traveled with my mom a lot, and I love it, but they probably have a much larger hotel room than we did.
Yeah,
so
there's that too. I mean, they have means to really experience things like in a different kind of way.
Yeah, but the one bad thing about this announcement, or a negative thing it sounds like, is that Angela, the DeLisa's mother, doesn't really want to go. Or not that she doesn't want to go, but she doesn't like flying. And that's one of her biggest fears. So how do you think that'll play into next week's episode?
Okay, well, it was hard to see her reaction. How did you feel when you saw her reaction?
I mean, I couldn't tell if something had happened, to her that made her that scared of flying. But she was really adamant about not flying. Like she even said, she's like, the rest of the family can go, I'm not going.
And that's fine. Like, it's okay to have these problems, have these anxieties, have these fears. But when they really control your life, it's really hard because you're going to miss out on so many things. Mm-hmm. And it also hurts your kids, too, because, of course, they're going to want you to come. Or what if one day, 15 years down the road, they live in a different state or you're never going to see your grandkids? So I feel bad for her that she lets us have so much power over her, but there's so much help out there. Yeah. Like, go and talk to a doctor about it, go and get some medication, like, enjoy this trip with your family.
Just take a sleeping pill the entire time.
Benadryl.
Bucky can carry you on and off the plane and you'll be fine. I mean, I really do feel like she should go because she doesn't want to miss out on an opportunity like that to hang out, with her entire family. I mean, that's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it's huge. And who knows, like you said, like if Kevin and Danielle are on tour for the next 20 years or...
Are you never going to go? Are you not going to go see your daughter? Plus, it's a life-changing experience. It's a life-changing experience that she could share with her family. And plus, their heritage is also there.
Yeah. I also think that this is going to be the last year where they can take a trip like this without having the grandkids yet. And once you travel with little kids, that changes everything because you can't go to the chapels and all of these cool, locations. What are you going to say?
I'm just thinking about traveling with kids. It can be so hard and challenging.
My mom used to take me on all the trips when I was like 6 months old. We went to Europe and I don't even know how she did it. I was probably a brat, but
I mean, you can't stop living your life because you have kids.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to live your life with them. But when you don't have them, you should really take advantage of it.
yeah. Spoken from a mother. Yeah.
Of two.
So, hopefully she'll go. I actually really like this episode because this is the first time where we got to see a lot from Angela. And I feel like one of the things that was lacking in this season thus far was we really didn't get to see her personality. We got to see little snippets every, episode, or not even every episode, but we got to see like one line from her pretty much every episode. And this is the first time where we've heard her talk.
Right.
So
I kind of felt bad for Kevin, though, when she said something to the effect of, well, that's fine, but don't talk about it in front of me. Like, because she wasn't going towards the end. And I feel bad for him because he's doing something nice for their family, and he's like, okay. Yeah.
I also felt bad for Angela when Bucky said, well, I don't care if you don't go, I'm going. With his Davy Crockett teeth. He's hysterical. I love
really
him.
Funny.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see how this all pans out next episode.
I hope they work it out, and I hope Angela goes because I think that in the end she'll really have a great time.
I'm sure she will. But let's move on to our news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So there isn't much news for this week, but coming up this Thursday is actually the Jonas Brothers' one U.S. Show. So it's going to be happening on 10, 11, 12 this Thursday at Radio City Music Hall. I know a lot of fans are really excited all across the country to go see them live because this is the only date that they've announced in the U.S. so far. Hopefully they'll be coming back to the U.S. after they go on this huge tour. But
come to L.A. We want to see you.
Not that we already haven't seen them, but
I want to see them
in concert. Yeah,
in concert.
That would be really
Their
cool.
new music.
Michelle, you're not going to fly to New York for Thursday night?
Well, actually, I'm thinking about it. I really want to go.
Yeah. But if there are any fans who do go, who watch AfterBuzz, then we'd love to know how your experience goes. Like, let us know, tweet us, and we'll talk about it on the show next week.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, definitely. So I think that rounds out our news and gossip for the week. Moving on to predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Michelle, I want to know two things.
Okay.
First, does Angela go to Florence?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's a 50-50 shot. She goes.
I'm going to say she goes too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my second thing, this is kind of overall for the season. I want to know, do you think this baby issue gets resolved before the end of Married to Jonas's first season?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
You don't think so?
I
You
don't think so.
You don't think that they get pregnant or start trying or
No, I don't.
I mean, we know she's not pregnant,
Right.
but well, at least
I think this is the family drama that the family will always bring up, and we're always going to hear from it. But I think that Dani and Kevin have a secret little pact because they love being together, and that is so obvious. And so probably I think for the next 2 years, they are not going to get pregnant, and I think they're going to do what they need to do for them as a couple, as a young couple, to grow together. I don't see any babies just yet.
I think that's actually good for young couples. When you do get married that young, you need that time in between when you get married and when you have your first kid to really work on your marriage and your relationship.
Bond.
Yes, exactly.
Grow together.
Yeah.
Learn how to communicate.
Yeah. So
not easy.
you're not just jumping right into everything.
The major leagues.
Yes.
Like, take some time coming up in the system.
AAA ball. So, any other predictions for the week, Michelle?
No, but I bet they have a great concert.
Yeah. I'll predict that too. I predict that a lot of the fans will be happy with it. And also, I think we might get a new single, the first single this week, because they did say that they wanted to drop their first single before this show, or at this show.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so get ready for some new Jonas music. So I think that is it for this week. Michelle, where can the fans find you in the meantime?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Miss Manizer.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cathy Kelley. For everyone here at AfterBuzz TV, John in the booth, Michelle, and myself, that is our episode of Married to Jonas for the week. Make sure to tune in next Sunday for another episode of Married to Jonas.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.